All right, so today we're making a Lexington style pulled pork shoulder. This is a shoulder. This is just the butt. You can use the whole shoulder, which is the butt and the picnic. You'll have a little bit more trimming if you do that. So I got it trimmed up, and what you want to do is just make sure that there's no little pieces of bone that your butcher may have missed. You know, here's the blade bone. And then right over here on the other side of the blade bone is this seam. And so you're going to want to get in there with your knife and get the connective tissue out of here. And I left this fat. That's fine. That'll cook down well. The connective tissue kind of has a stringy, chewy taste. So once you got your meat trimmed, and that's a pretty well marbled piece of meat right here. This is going to make a great pulled pork. You're going to want to make up your rub. So the rub is it's pretty simple. It's a tablespoon of paprika. I got my little assistant here today. It's a tablespoon of paprika, a tablespoon of black pepper, a tablespoon of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of sea salt, 2 teaspoons of mustard powder, 1 teaspoon of white pepper, and half a teaspoon of cayenne. And then you just put it in your mortar and pestle. If you don't have one of those, get one. You really can't do any high-level cooking without this thing. And then we're just going to cover this whole thing, every bit of it, all down in the seam, everywhere. We'll cover with our rub, and we'll let this sit on the counter at room temperature while we fire up the grill. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we got this guy, got the dry rub on it. I suppose you could skip the dry rub, but why the hell would you do that? This is going to add a lot of flavor. If you look, it's already, the same thing is happening as when you cure meat with the equilibrium method. And so the meat, what's happening is the moisture is getting replaced with the salt and sugar and spices that we put on here. So we've already got a little bit of myosin coming out of there. And this is just going to sit for a couple minutes while we get the grill nice and hot and get our wood chunks on there and get it smoking. So this will probably sit for about a half an hour on the counter. If you want to drape a towel or something over it, go ahead. Some tin foil, whatever, just to keep the little critters off of it. Also, if you don't have some like Carpenter Brute or Perturbator or something like that playing in the background, I ask, are you really even cooking? So let's go and get the smoker fired up so that we can get this started, because this is going to be on there about 7 hours. It's 10 in the morning right now, so I started maybe a little bit late, but we usually eat around 7 anyway. So this will give me 7 hours thereabouts for this to smoke, and then it's going to rest on the counter for 2 hours. You can do 1, 2's best. So let's get that taken care of. Okay, so we got this on the smoker now. Smoke box over here. This is our Oklahoma Joe smoker grill combo, and it's great. It was not expensive. It's only $600 or something like that, which is about 5 times cheaper than something like a Kamado Joe Classic or something like that. And this works excellent. I mean, you can be smoking over here, cooking over here. It's got a little side burner for your sauce or whatever. All right, so you want to put this on fat cap down. That'll give a little bit of a thermal barrier at the bottom. And we're not going to wrap this at all. A lot of different smoking techniques call to wrap your piece of meat, but we're not going to wrap this at all because we want a really good bark on this. So this thing's going to be almost black when it's done, and that's what we're looking for. So we'll just close this up, and we're looking for about 300 degrees in here for about 7 hours. So I'm just going to use the air vents and the smokestack to control our temperature in there. So let's go in the house and we'll make up our mop liquid, because after the first hour, every hour after that, we're going to mop this thing. So we want to get that ready now. So let's go do that. All right, so to make our mop, this is really simple. So we've got 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. And we're just going to use a mason jar for this because it makes it so much easier to mix this shit. And we've got 1 tablespoon of sea salt, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and I prefer the light brown sugar. And then we've got a 1/2 cup of ketchup. Sounds weird, I know. Trust me. Trust me. I've never in my life made something that didn't taste good. So this is kind of annoying with just one hand. My video making technology is pretty bunk. And then so it's going to be 2 tablespoons of crushed red pepper. So let's see if I can do that without fucking it up. Now we're just going to put the lid on here and shake the dog shit out of it. There we go, there's our mop liquid. So that's going to hang out on the counter for an hour so everybody can get to know each other. And we'll use that for mopping our meat. Like I said, every hour we're gonna mop the meat, and that'll give it a really, really good bark, which is the best part of the pulled pork, in my opinion. That kind of crunchy, really spicy, flavorful bark is what's going to bring people back to your table over and over. So we just give this a shake every once in a while, and those flavors are all going to meld together, and it's going to be super delicious. It already smells good, just the mop sauce. My mouth is starting to water. So we'll do that. We'll come back and I'll show you the process of mopping that, and we'll take a peek at the meat every once in a while so you can see the progression. And then at the end, we'll come back and we'll start pulling it apart. I may do some more videos along these lines. I've got a really good coffee rub that works great for beef. So maybe I'll do like an eye of round or something on the smoker with that coffee rub, and we can see how that turns out. I haven't used it on eye of round, so we'll see what that looks like. So if everybody's interested in these kind of videos, I'll keep making them, and we'll do some meat preservation as well, some fermented meats, braciola, capicola, prosciutto, that kind of thing, because I'm gonna have a shitload of deer meat, and I would like to be able to store it long term without electricity. So we'll do some videos on putting together those cuts of meat and curing them and hanging them, and what you need to do for that. So we'll be back in an hour when I mop the meat for the first time. All right, well, it's time to put the first mop on here. So let's get this open. Oh yeah, yep, starting to firm up. We're starting to get a little bark on there now, especially over here. So, well, I'm gonna get this mopped. I can't do it and hold the phone at the same time, so I'll get this mopped and then I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so the first mop is on there. You can see down here, that's starting to look real nice. And so we're not going to touch this at all. We don't want to move it around too much. We don't want to fuck with it, because if you fuck with a good thing, it becomes a not good thing. So we're just going to close this guy back up, and we'll see it in another hour. Alright, I just got done doing another mop, and it is looking excellent so far. It's forming a really nice bark. The whole neighborhood is having to smell this, which I think is fucking hilarious because they don't get any. You can see over here, look at this nice bark. It's starting to firm up real nice. God, that tastes amazing. So, we're looking at like 3.5 more hours, and this guy will be done. Right on. We are down to our last hour. Wow, can't really. And it's looking really good. I just mopped it again, so it'll get one last mop, and then it'll be on here for about a half an hour after that, just for the mop to firm up, and then it'll come out to rest, and we'll pull the blade bone out and get it shredded, and man, it's gonna be fucking good. All right, well, this is it. I'm done. It's been on the smoker for 7 hours. As you can see, it's got this excellent bark on it. God, it's fucking delicious. So I'll cover this with tin foil, and I'll let it rest for 2 hours. And then over here, I've got my greens going. That's a little warm. And so the green recipe is really easy. It's 4 ingredients. It's a couple of bunches of kale. I pull the ribs out, give it a rough chop. It's 1 red onion. Again, just a rough chop. About a pound of bacon, and then maybe 3/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar. And you just cook that down real slow. So this will cook while this rests. And then when this is almost done resting, I will get a nice hot cast iron pan from over here, and get the dough that I made last night out of the fridge. And we'll roll that out nice and thin, and I'll cook up some flatbread to wrap this in, with some of our mop sauce and probably some spinach or whatever on it. So if you guys want this recipe, just go ahead and shoot me a message. I'm happy to give the recipe to you, because that shit is fucking delicious. I suppose I should do the obligatory, like, subscribe, share, spiel. So do that, especially if you want to see more videos of this type. And so, I'll be cooking more of this kind of stuff up, so I might as well make videos as long as they're well received. So I hope you guys are eating as well as we are. And if not, watch my videos and you can figure out how to do that. You guys have a good one.